Let me tell you, the biggest dependency of your software is not the code. It's something very simple but very much poisonous. In fact, it was so simple and obvious, our team never considered it as harmful thing. They never thought it would do us any harm until it did. And oh boy, did it not break our software, it broke our confidence. And I mean it. But if you don't believe it, just stay with me. By the end of the video, not only will you understand what I mean when I say that the biggest dependency of your software is not the code, you will also understand why I say it. But before that, we have to go through a story. So it's the story time. So we had a legacy component which was running in production for a very long time. It was old, rustic, weird edge cases and use cases, and it was a component people just don't want to touch. I know you have seen those components. Yeah, it was one of those components. You thought of it right. So whenever we had new release, we used to do our changes and let John know. And then you might ask, who is John? Well, John was our Masiha. He was the person who was completely knowledgeable about this legacy component. Be it use case, a custom test case, be it customer production issue, anything it was, John just know it by head. So we used to ask John, hey, could you please manually validate it? And he does a fantastic job. He never disappoints. So he does the manual validation as much as he wants. He tests all the customer use cases, this thing, that connector being synced with other things, any kind of thing which we were not aware about, he used to do that. And when he gives us the green light, we were happy. We're like, yeah, we are now finished with this thing and we'll push it to prod. And like I said, John never disappoints. Once it's been pushed to prod, the likely chances of anything which was previously working now getting broken was very minimal because John tested it. Well, everything was going as per usual. We were happy, John was happy, company was happy. Until John left us. And let me tell you, when John left, we did not feel any kind of sadness. Obviously, we felt the sadness of John leaving, but we did not felt afraid. Why? Because we were a agile team. I mean, yes, John used to do validation for that component, but who cares? We were the developer. We know everything as well. We were not dependent on John by any means. Or were we? Well, we took all the KTs from John that we should have taken. We extracted all the information we could have from John in that reasonable amount of time, and we documented it as much as we can. And then John left. Well, the next release came. We were all confident. Why wouldn't we? Like I said, we were agile team. And we developed the thing which we want, and we tell now we have to test it. Well, John is not there. So I was responsible for testing that thing. And it was very weird for me to test it because it was my first time testing it. And I did check all the test cases, positive test cases, which were working fine. I was happy. Then I checked some new negative test cases. It was working fine. I was also happy. Then I was going to check the accounts page, but I realized I did not know about account page. Well, I did not know it even existed. Well, asking my different team members, I got to know that it's something which is going to sync with another connector. So I asked my engineering manager, hey, can I get the access for this another connector? He told me that John knows this best. Well, the bad news was John already left. So well, I did what a good engineer do. I talked to different stakeholders, different team persons, and tried to understood this functionality as much as I could. Well, even after reverse engineering, going through all the docs, KTs, different folks, I understood a very little. To the point whenever I tested this product, I just did not feel any confidence. And then my engineer manager asked, hey, you have been validating this for a long time. Can we now push it to prod? Is it okay? And I blanked out like I did now because it was not possible for me to say yes. I was afraid. I was not confident about this release. I mean, I tested a lot of flows, but these were the flows which I have known. I mean, there was many functionalities I did not know and I had to test them. How could I have been confident about the release when there was a lot of use cases I am not sure about how to test them? Well, John used to do it by head, and unfortunately, I don't have that knowledge in my head. So the best thing I did was tell my engineering manager my situation, And then we started figuring things more out. We reverse engineer a code lot of them. We talked to more stakeholders to understand different things. And at the end of the day, we came to a conclusion. Forget me, none of the team members are confident about the release. Well, then again, how could they be? The person who have known all this stuff is gone now. So we did what a good agile team does. We released it to prod and hope for the best. Well, I mean, don't do it seriously, but yeah, that's what we did. We didn't have any choice because release couldn't have waited a little bit more. I mean, it was already a long time. But this incident told us something that we did not know much about this product. But well, I mean, what can we do? It's a legacy component. You can't blame much, right? There's nothing we could have done. It's a legacy component, like I said. But we did what a responsible team does again. We started testing it. And I mean by testing, we started doing more of the automation. And I was the first person to actually start writing the automation. And let me tell you, automation felt boring. I mean, damn boring when I say boring. It was not a deep, engineering inside thing, different architecture, different all those stuff that makes us software developer excited. It was none of those. I was bored when I do the testing, but I had to do what I had to do. It's a thing which I got paid for, right? So I started writing some test case and I automated all the positive ones which I know of. Then I started doing a little bit digging in the code to reverse engineer some test flow. I had more time, so I reverse engineered a lot of workflows, and the test coverage increased. To the point, I had now included a lot of use cases and test cases which I was not initially aware about. There were some even edge cases which I probably would not remember now, but they are all written in those tests. So, frankly speaking, the more coverage I had, the more better and confident I was feeling for the next release. And when I was feeling confident, the next release came up. And this time, even without anything, our team just ran the automation. Even before I sat down, logged into my laptop, I know the result of the automation. And this time, there was a bug. Our automation found a bug. And it was one of those use cases I told you earlier that I wouldn't have remembered to execute it. So our system basically caught a bug which I probably would not have executed. And after me, no one probably wouldn't have known if this was not for this test case. And I was pretty damn happy. But happy was not only the emotion which I was feeling. I understood something more. I understood that we always used to think that, hey, our code is this, our code is that. But code is something which is very much visible. Yes, it's hard to fix, but once a thing is visible, you can fix it. But what about the knowledge that is trapped in people's head? I mean, take a look at the example of John. John left, and in the next release, we are not sure how to execute the test case. Forget test case, we are not even knowledgeable about that product. So that's why I understood that sometimes the biggest dependency of the software is not the code. It's something which is trapped in people's head. It's when a single person know about the product more than anyone in the whole company. That's the biggest dependency you have. I mean, forget about the architecture, all those stuff. If that person left, you would probably be in shambles for a month. I mean, we have been. So, what's the real insight from this incident? Well, sometimes the hidden human dependencies are way more poisonous than your code dependencies. You can fix that code. I mean, AI can. But what about the process? What about John who left the company with all the knowledge he had for the last decade? You can't restructure that. You can't refactor that. You can't rebuild that. You have to then invest that much time to regain that knowledge, which would have been possible if you have just did it when John was available. Well, there you have it. And I believe people, sleeps a lot more on testing than they should. I mean, I did the same as well. But good tests are not like your tutorials, just assert this, do that, verify that. No, 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 no. Good tests are literally the knowledge base for the product. They are the documentation themselves. And they are the thing which does not allow a knowledge to be trapped inside a person's head. And that's why for a system of such complexity, testing should become mandatory. Not because they allow faster release, but because they remove the biggest dependency you have in your software. They do not allow the knowledge to be trapped in a single person's head. And if that person ever left, Then again, you can regain that knowledge just by looking at the test cases. How cool is that? Now I think you know what you need to do. Before you ever left an organization, always ensure that whatever you have in this just does not go away with you. And you can do the automation testing if you want. You can record better KTs, better documentation, whatever suits you. Just ensure that the biggest dependency you have with you make sure you resolve that. And that is the knowledge trapped in your head. I'm actually hoping this one went a little bit decent than the previous one. I mean, I did a lot of, pre-production thing. So I'm hoping that this one would probably be a bit more interesting than the last one. I mean, obviously it could have been better, but baby steps at a time. Well, I fulfilled the promise from the last time. I think this is a better video than the last one, just for the just due to the fact of the storytelling. But what should the next promise be? Probably a better video idea, right? I have a lot of incident I want to say. I mean, a lot of them. And transitioning from a phase of junior developer to mid-level developer, I have some cool things I want to build, but at the same time now after being in an organization for a certain amount of time, I think software engineering is not all about coding. And that's why I want to talk about the topics which I'm talking about now. The real engineering along with the coding is something which I think we have to discuss, and hence I think I can have a better killer topic probably next time. I mean, I don't know why I'm rambling. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. If you have till this point, I am really grateful. And like I said, the next video will probably be a more relatable and better idea. I hope so. I hope so. Thank you. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.